Policing pedophile subculture on the dark web. In 2015, 22-year-old Melbourne man Matthew David Graham was arrested for managing a host of dark web forums for pedophiles that published a series of child sexual exploitation material featuring real-life torture and sexual acts with children under a genre classified as hurtcore. Graham created these sites after he noticed existing pedophile forums had banned the hurtcore genre. Prospective members had to supply a specified amount of original content on Graham's sites called Hurt to the Core and Love to the Core. Graham was apprehended following a joint investigation by Canadian police, the FBI, Europol, and the Australian Federal Police as his hurtcore sites reached other users in Europe, the US and Canada, when Graham even encouraged a Russian user to act on his fantasy of raping and murdering a 5-year-old girl in his neighbourhood. What are child sexual exploitation materials? Current Australian legislation regards child pornography, or CP, as the correct legal term for media on sites such as those shown by Graham that depict sexual exploitation of children under 16 years of age. However, this presentation will be adopting the term Child Sexual Exploitation Materials, or CSEM, to reinforce the exploitative nature of Graham's sexually explicit content showing minors on the internet that may be neutralised through connotations of consent and agency by the word pornography. Graham's and other hurtcore sites searched and shared CSEM using internet-based technologies such as chat rooms and online forums hidden from CleanNet or regular internet users by the dark web. The CSEM published on Graham's sites took several forms through images and media that depict nudity, child masturbation, sexual activity between children, and penetrative sex between adults and children. Australian law also encompasses the creation of sexualized deepfakes or digitally altered images of children. CSEM can also be created and shared without direct involvement of a real child. Legislation has expanded to include language or fiction that describes sexual conduct between an adult and a minor following the development of online sharing of CSEM. While we still don't exactly know how many other Australians are actively engaging with CSEM online, the Australian Institute of Criminology classifies 3 key types of offending that span computer-assisted and computer-dependent crimes. These are contact offenders, non-contact offenders, and dual offenders. The Age's article notes that police investigating Graham described him as a non-contact offender because he facilitated the trading of CSEM and encouraged others to act on their urges to abuse children, but did not physically do it himself. Cohen's delinquency subcultural theory contends that crime is a consequence of the union of individuals into so-called subcultures in which deviant values and moral concepts dominate behaviours and discourse. Subcultures can be defined as subsystems or anti-systems of society with their own attitudes and norms that often contradict the moral concepts of majority society. This is evident in Graham's production and sharing of CSEM. For example, the article highlighted how the dark web was Graham's primary source of hosting and trading illegal hurtcore content with other users. This demonstrates how Graham himself facilitated the convergence of pedophiles and subsequently emphasized Cohen's distinction between normative legal and same-age sexual interest expectations and an online connection with a hurtcore subculture centered on a violent sexual interest in minors. Noting the dark web as a platform that can be used to facilitate the digital congregation of users with an interest in CSEM, Kettleborough and Murdian in 2017 argued it is this very sense of connection felt within the subculture between predators through an awareness of the illegality of their behaviour that enables them to legitimize and rationalize their violent and sexualized interest in children. Kettleborough and Murdian aren't alone in this view. In another study, Holt, Bevins and Burkett in 2010 found through empirical analysis of multiple online pedophile chat forums on the dark web that such groups facilitated the convergence of multiple predators by validating their sexual interest in minors, by encouraging discourse about their fantasies among other users on forums and in chat rooms. Specifically, Matthew Graham told police that he initially felt ashamed for being sexually attracted to young children before coming across the quote, torpedo community that allowed him to truly feel comfortable with the attractions. This increased separation of dominant social values that deem CSEM offensive and individuals who engage with it reinforced solidarity within Graham's CSEM community by offering a sense of belonging within discourse and engagement with other hurtcore site users separate to mainstream digital communication and social media. Graham's self-described sense of community found within the hurtcore subculture was reiterated by a US journalist sourced in the article who joined his hurtcore sites and noted that other members he interviewed described the same sense of community and understanding by other users. Therefore, we can see that the sense of belonging and rationalization offered by the virtual world minimizes the effects of external stigmatization, since Graham and other users could, in the security of their own home, dabble in and share their deviant passion without fear of being recognized by their terrestrial acquaintances. How is online pedophile subculture being policed? Graham's dark web hurtcore sites demonstrated the ability for original CSEM content to be shared without geographical limitations that can hinder terrestrial criminal efforts. The article highlighted how Graham was apprehended following a cross-jurisdictional investigation that involved Canadian police, the FBI, Europol, and the AFP. In 2009, Chu contended that cross-jurisdictional collaborative efforts such as this are the most effective means of combating the dissemination of CSEM and online child sexual exploitation. Moreover, the journalist's infiltration of Graham's hurtcore sites highlighted in the article demonstrates the ways in which investigative measures can be employed to police online CSEM. Another example of this is Task Force Argos, a unit within the Queensland Police Service that ran a child pornography site called Child's Play after taking control of it in 2016. Before closing the site in September of that year, police officers uploaded and shared child pornography, including extreme child abuse and rape material, as a sort of honey trap for prospective predators. This demonstrates an infiltration of the hurtcore subculture Graham actively attempted to separate from clear-net internet users and police authorities. What are the challenges of policing online CSEM? While Task Force Argos demonstrates cross-jurisdictional collaboration at work, variances in the categorization of child pornography online and in legal contexts makes it difficult to encompass all potentially exploitative material. For example, Australian laws require exploitative materials to feature the depiction of sexual activity between a child and a legal adult for the media to classify as child pornography. However, measures implemented by ISPs on social media sites and search engines may also capture content that features a high degree of nakedness without the depiction of sexual acts themselves between adults and children, such as a mother holding her baby in the bath. It is in this way that Graham's case highlights how the above collaborative efforts across countries and wide-ranging definitions of CSEM were central to his arrest despite needing to be further refined. Matthew Graham's case demonstrates the extent to which the dark web and private browsers can be used to facilitate the trading and publication of CSEM and hurtcore materials among what he himself defined as the online pedophile community. Analysis of Graham's hurtcore websites shows that CSEM takes a range of image and video-based forms that can be defined in many ways across the multi-jurisdictional nature of policing CSEM and child grooming. Using Cohen's delinquency subculture theory to explore this online convergence of predators and CSEM on the dark web, it becomes clear that an alternative sense of belonging and distinctive awareness of the illegal nature of sharing CSEM makes the dark web an attractive host of pedophile chat rooms and forums on which their sexualized interest in minors is validated and encouraged. It is in this way that while definitions and categorizations need to be more unified, the above cross-jurisdictional and institutional collaboration of policing online CSEM has already proven to be effective in exploring the policing dark web pedophile subculture in Matthew Graham's case.